Right now, it's time for the Way Black History Fact, and today's Way Black History Fact is sponsored by Major Threads. For innovative, fashionable sportswear, check MajorThreads.com. Today's reading comes from the Black Information Network. Many Americans know about the heroic acts of the pilots and passengers of United Airlines Flight 93, a plane that was hijacked by 9/11 terrorists and later crashed into a field in Pennsylvania. Everyone on that aircraft perished, including the assailants, and the victims have been immortalized through many memorials, vigils, and media. While his story has been told, many are still unaware of First Officer LeRoy W. Homer Jr., the black man co-piloting the plane on that fateful day. This will be a recounting of his life, how he fought back against hijackers, and how his legacy continues to shape lives today. Born on August 27, 1965, Homer grew up on Long Island and cultivated a love of planes early on. From assembling model airplanes to watching planes take off from the local airport, he would embark on a path to make his dreams come true in high school. He started taking flight lessons at age 15 and even took his first solo flight when he was 16. Homer obtained his pilot license before attending the U.S. Air Force Academy in 1987. After graduation, he served in Operations Desert Shield and Desert Storm and flew humanitarian missions in Somalia, the latter often being life-threatening experiences. Once the esteemed pilot wrapped up his active duty service in 1995 with the rank of major, he joined the United Airlines as a commercial pilot. 1995 was the same year he and his future wife Melody Thorpe began talking to each other over the phone. Within 2 years, they got engaged and tied the knot in 1998 and welcomed a child in November of 2000. Homer, 36, was one of 7 crew members on Flight 93, which was carrying 37 passengers on the morning of September 11, 2001. Co-piloting with Captain Jason Dahl, the 2 pilots got word from United Airlines dispatch to be cautious of cockpit intrusion. 46 minutes into the flight, Homer could be heard saying "Mayday" along with the sounds of a physical struggle as recorded through various channels. 4 hijackers redirected the plane toward Washington, D.C., where they planned to crash the aircraft into the U.S. Capitol. The terrorists struggled to fly the plane because they couldn't disable the autopilot function on the Boeing 757. As a result, they were forced to bring back Homer and Dahl, who were the first to fight back against the hijackers. The passengers also joined in on the counterattack, which ended in the plane careening into an open field in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. Their heroic sacrifice saved many lives in Washington, D.C. that day. After the horrible events of 9/11, Melody Homer created a foundation named after her late husband in 2003 to help underrepresented youth fulfill their dreams of flying. The LeRoy Homer Jr. Foundation supports high school and college students to earn their private pilot's license and pursue careers in aviation. The nonprofit also provides scholarships and outreach programs aimed at getting children and young people interested in the industry. Let me make sure that I get the rest of this in for you here. All right. In an interview with WHQR's Coastline, Melody Homer told host Rachel Lewis Hilburn that LeRoy's legacy had been hijacked and overlooked. Captain Jason Dahl, LeRoy, the crew, they were just glossed over in all the coverage, she said back in September of 2022. And it came down to there were 4 strong men on the flight. That was kind of the narrative that went on. You can make correction after correction after correction. It's very difficult to change that narrative. Hilburn and Homer also discussed the importance of people knowing Homer was a black biracial man who worked hard for his achievements in the industry dominated by white men. For decades, many Americans were unaware of the accomplishments of the pilot and the pilot's race. And then this goes on to discuss his military career, how he made the transformation to commercial aviation, and how challenging that was. And it ends with her saying he's a great inspiration for a lot of African Americans, other minorities who think that's not achievable, even women. I implore you to read the entire article again at binnews.com, and we'll leave it there.